Mr. Pfluger, you're recognized for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Again, I'd like to thank my friend Pablo Shurtleff for being here and for sharing your testimony, as well as all the other witnesses for your time today. Today, we have 3 peer-reviewed aviator cancer studies that have occurred in the last 4 years, and their findings are in full agreement. Veteran flyers in all fixed-wing seats, fleets, ranks, roles share in significantly elevated rates of cancer. So what do we do next? And that's the reason that we're here exploring the ACES Act. Common sense tells us that we need to ask what is causing the cancer. And there's no other study underway or planned except for the ACES Act that can help our veterans with the why of their cancers. And we certainly will not obtain this information from another cancer incidence study that reconfirms the high rates of cancer. We know that. Now it's about the why, it's about the what's causing it. And what I want to talk about is the cost of inaction if we don't do something. And if we pivot away from getting to the cause of these cancers, we're in fact telling our veteran flyers, you're on your own. And furthermore, we're not going to help you figure it out. We're not going to help you figure out what made you sick. And it's my friend Pablo and others that we both know, that we have served with, that we flew with, that suffer. So my first question for you, Pablo, is tell us about your journey and what would have been different had we had the ACES Act already, and how would your journey have differed?
Yeah, thank you, Congressman Pfluger. I'll answer that in a couple different ways. You know, right now we're hanging out our veterans and our active duty aircrew members to dry a bit. We've identified that they are sicker than the human population, or the U.S. population that they're pulled from. At a micro scale, my son is a freshman in college. He already has his private pilot's license. He's a passionate aviator, and he's already considering going into the Air Force to be a fighter pilot. I don't know if I can back him up on that right now. I have concerns for that. When you expand that out now across all the different veterans organizations that are backing the ACES Act, that's a lot of America's military families that are questioning whether or not they should send their sons or daughters into America's cockpits right now, because cancer is not a fun thing. I wouldn't wish it on my worst enemy. And so we do need to figure out the what and the why behind it so that we can mitigate that. And so we can put clear, definable, measurable instruments into place to mitigate those risks, to protect our aviators, and that way they can continue to do our nation's business.
What a great point, you know, and when we think about it from the family members of those who have children that want to go serve, you know, are we prepared? Do we believe that our country is doing everything they can? And I want to say thank you to the VA in advance. I know they're going to testify here, and thank you, Mr. Chairman and Ranking Member, for this opportunity. What words of advice do you have to the VA? I think they try to do their best every single day, but now we have knowledge and we must act. What words would you have for the VA specifically?
Yeah, I think we need to act, and we need to act in a timely manner. You know, as you mentioned earlier, and I said in my own testimony, we have very clear evidence at this point of the incidents. You know, we recognize that people who are pulled from the U.S. population, these are not people that walk right off the street. These are highly screened medically, physically before they join the military. If you become a military aviator, you go through additional screening. I personally went through an entire day of being poked and prodded in every way, shape, and form before I even began my flying career. So I was a healthy, incredibly healthy individual when I entered at 22 years old, and less than 20 years later, I had stage 4 cancer. So there's something wrong there, so we need to act. And we know there's something going on, we just need to figure out what that is. And again, that's why we need to work together between the National Academy of Sciences, who's being directed to conduct this study, work with the VA on the study, and then report back to the appropriate agencies on what actions we need to take.
This is anecdotal, and not to put you on the spot with math in public, but both of us know many of our friends that have gone through these battles. I mean, any estimate or idea of how many friends that we both know that you've served with that have gone through cancer at a very early age in their lives?
I know of dozens. You know, I personally know probably around a dozen individuals who have gone through cancer, some who are with us today, some who are not with us today. And when I think about it on the civilian side or outside the military aircrew population, For those who are under, say, 50 years old, I know two. I know two people, and one was a baby. So the statistics are there, and it's very, very personal to me. I lost a squadron commander who died of cancer just a few years ago. And every once in a while, I'll get a phone call say, hey, Pablo, I just found out I have cancer. What do I do? So it is very, very personal, and it happens day in and day out.
Thank you for testifying, for your courage, for the fight that you're going through right now, and for being here today. Mr. Chairman, I yield back.